Yo, what's up? So, I wanted to talk about a reflection of the holidays, right? I guess there's still New Year's, right? That's still left, but I guess kind of as of now, Christmas is basically almost over. So, may as well kind of, reflect on it. And most of the celebration actually happens on Christmas Eve, anyways, right? And Thanksgiving already happened, and the bulk of the winter holiday season is basically over because it's basically the end of the new year. So I guess it's almost just a reflection on everything, right? And it's almost a recreation of the old video that I made of of why am I thankful, why am I thankful that women find me undesirable or unattractive, right? um Yeah, I mean, I guess the you know, tiny reflection on that video though, right? From the Thanksgiving stuff, it's like obviously, it's basically impossible for you to go years, basically your entire life, being undesirable, and have it not become part of your identity, right? Like, unless you decide to go the monk route, like ChatGPT said, that's the only way. You can truly find, you know, um, was it fulfillment without, being alone, right? Just be a monk, bro. Any other way, you're basically just coping to some extent. And I guess that is kind of true to an extent, right? If you're not gonna find, fulfillment through like true fulfillment, not coping, right? Not trying to like, oh yeah, bro, I'm so happy being by myself and build playing with my I don't even know what something is. Reading my comic book collection or whatever it is, right? I don't know, playing I don't even know what people do, right? Doing this loser activity, right? That is unapproved of by society, right? And basically that. You can cope. That's basically just a cope, cause in truly deep down, because it's almost ingrained into you on a biological level. I don't even know if that makes sense, right? But it's like ingrained in you, right? From years and years of like evolution, right? Of you're a person, you're designed basically to seek, partnership, right? To seek a companion, to seek a mate, to seek other people, to form a community, right? Maybe it doesn't have to, necessarily be a relationship, but right, if you form a community of people, right, odds are eventually, women will join that community, right? And then um, you'll form some kind of relationship with them, right? Well, that's the hope, that's the idea, right? Event for probably, they'll probably go after the top guys in that niche, right? But that's the idea, right? Every time a viable woman shows up into a mostly male space, it's a competition, right? That's why in a lot of like male dominated things, right? It becomes an issue when one girl joins the group, right? Not necessarily because they're like, ew, we think we're better than women, right? It's like not even that. It's because the dynamics change, right? Because some guys will, try to, act all macho and or try to one up you, or act a different way, right? Their behavior will change because they want to in theory gain the approval, gain the validation of that woman, right? When in reality, I know once you're black pilled, you can't gain validation, right? You can't do anything, right? You can't, oh, I do this action, therefore now I'll get a girlfriend. No. It's like you exist with these genetics. You exist with these physical traits. and then you'll get the approval, right? So it's like you either got it or you don't, bro, right? So it almost doesn't make sense to, like to like peacock or do whatever you want to call it, right? Or try to game or whatever. It's like that stuff is basically a cope, right? Because either you got it or you don't. Because I mean, if you really think about it and you're truly honest with yourself, right? If you're a guy, think about other guys who have you seen get girlfriends, right? Do they actually do anything like crazy extravagant? No. They're for the most part, they're just gonna be average guys living an average life. They're not gonna be like multimillionaires, right? They're not gonna be top level athletes or so whatever cope you want to say it. All right, they're not gonna be the top 1% of anything, right? They're just gonna be normal average guys. And if you're a woman, like if you're truly self-aware enough, you'll realize that most of the guys you find attractive, right, are just gonna be whatever ass guys, right? They're not going to be doing anything special, right? They're just physically attractive, and then they just kind of exist in your proximity, and then you develop a crush on them for the most part, right? That's basically what it is. If you were truly self-aware, you would be able to know that, right? And then, but of course, there's always gonna be someone. Oh, bro, but my experience is different. Okay, so like, one you have a couple outliers, right? But that doesn't, suddenly mean that this trend isn't real, right? It's not every single person, right, fits this mold. No, but it's the vast majority. We can be generous and say it's 80%, even though it's for sure probably more than 80%, right? But like, who cares? Who cares about exact numbers, right? Because like I said, this is like basically a black pill bro science channel, right? Where we don't really care about the real mechanisms behind stuff. We just care about the end result, right? Like, who cares if you know dating and mate selection goes through some different mechanism if the end result, whether it goes through the real mechanism or my fake bro science mechanism, right? The end result is the same, The top guys are still getting the women, right? So what does it even matter, right? Other than trying to like argue little BS semantics or whatever that don't actually matter and don't actually contribute to the issue, right? Because the issue isn't about what mechanism does mate selection and dating go through, right? It's like, who cares, right? Well, the actual issue is that there's undesirable guys, right? And well, there actually is no there is no solution to it, right? Because at the end of the day, right, it's like just how people watch those nature documentaries and say, "Oh man, nature's so cruel, bro." It's like, look at these animals hunting each other and stuff, right? With humans, nature's the same thing. Right? So like, wow, nature's so cruel. Look at all these women rejecting the majority of undesirable males, right? Just how it is. The unfortunate reality of the world. So yeah. So I guess back to the main point, right? Of was it if you're undesirable to women for your whole life, it will take a huge impact on you, and if it will become part of your identity to some extent. How can it not? If relationships, people are always saying, "Oh, bro, once your guy friend gets a girlfriend, then his whole identity changes, right?" Well, it's the same thing if you never get a girlfriend, right? If you're undesirable your whole life, the same way when you get a relationship, and your identity kind of switches to a more of a partner focused life, right? Now suddenly your identity is going to switch gradually over time after years of rejection and being ignored is going to switch over to a single and alone. And I still have to make the video on single and alone because it's always there's always going to be a couple guys say, "Oh, bro, I've been single my whole life too, right?" But then, then they'll have, it's like, "Oh, yeah, but, I always talk to, I will always keep all these girls on rotation. I just don't have a girlfriend, but, blah blah blah, right? But well, that's so much more different than being actually truly single, right? Single and alone is like when you're single and you don't talk to girls, right? It's like when the only interactions with the girls are basically forced interactions, right? Forced social, or not forced customer service interactions, basically, right? And then and then they're forced to be nice to you, right? So then that's the brutal part, right? When they're forced to be nice to you, then you think, oh man, this girl's nice to me. She's a cashier at the store and she always smiles at me, bro. But it's like, bro, but she's a cashier. She's paid to do this, right? She's paid to be nice to the customers. She's nice to everyone. She smiles to everyone. Like, you're not special, but your brain is so deprived of any positive interaction from women that you're like, this is my chance, bro. But so you just cope hard, right? That's all it truly is, just a hard cope. It's all it is, just a hard cope, and it sucks, but what can you do, right? It is what it is. So yeah, um, I guess that's the Thanksgiving thing, right? How can you not, right? So it's like it does mold your life, right? It makes you do different stuff. It makes not being desired by women, having to basically be your own person, right? It's like, oh, bro, just you don't need women, right? It's like, I know I don't need women, right? I lived my entire life without women, so it's like, of course I know I don't need them, right? Like, you don't need a woman to support you. You don't need a woman to do this or this, right? I mean, you basically only need a woman to be a girlfriend, right? And it's basically over if you can't get one, because there's nothing else that can truly fulfill that role, right? Well, you can say, oh, bro, just switch sides, bro, and get a boyfriend, right? That'll be a coper response, but like I said, at the end of the day, there's nothing that can truly replace being desired for your genetics, right? Like, what else can replace it, right? It's like, you can say, oh, bro, you can have friends, right? But your friends don't really desire you for your genetics. They desire you for resources you bring, right? Either that can either, be non-physical resources, like you entertain them, you're funny or whatever, whatever it is, right? Like that, or you bring good experiences like that, or maybe it's just you bring physical stuff, like you're rich and they want to use you for your money, whatever, right? Stuff like that. But they don't want you for your genetics, right? But with a woman, a relationship with you is like she wants you for your genetics. Even if it's a one night stand, she still technically wants you for your genetics. And nothing can truly replace that, right? It is it is a very important human. It's almost a need, right? Like, people get triggered, right, when you say, "Oh, bro, you're needing. It's not a need. You can live without it." Right? Sure. It's like you can live without it, but are you really living? No, you're just surviving at that point, right? Like, it is truly a human need to be desired for your genetics. Like, the more time that goes on, the more I see it. It really is, right? Because without that, you're just basically surviving, right? You're just going through the motions in life. Because you know, it's like the holidays bringing out some some more, right? You see all these other people with their families or friends or whatever and stuff, and their relationships, right? It's like it's always brutal. Like on this morning on Christmas, right? I was walking my dog, and of course I'm by myself, right? Then other people are walking, and it's like it's a couple the other way, right? And it's always brutal when you think about stuff like that, right? It's like another couple, and then you just walking by yourself, right? Truly a truly night and day difference, right? And life circumstances, right? It's so crazy how we can be the same species, right? Where they're walking, that guy, was able to attract a woman, right? And then meanwhile, me, it's like we can live for equal amount of time, right? And they're able to attract a woman and I am not, right? Not anyone, right? That's the crazy part. Well, I mean, I guess you can say one or whatever, but it'll be like, oh, fake cell, whatever, right? Then, yeah, and then, I guess having the like a family dinner for Christmas, right? Where, what is it called? My sister will invite her boyfriend and stuff, right? And it's always it always brings memories, right? Of like how things, especially now since I've had a brief time of having a girlfriend, right? It always makes me think. It's like, wow, couldn't it be so? Life could be so different, right? If I had, a more sustainable long term relationship, right? Then, you'd think I would be able to do that, right? It's like I would be able to bring a partner to, or, engage in these family gatherings with a partner instead of, every year, just going in by yourself, right? Because, what else am I going to do, right? It's like, you can't fake that, right? You can't just fake or you can fake it. It's like, oh, bro, my girlfriend is just long distance and she lives in a different country and she doesn't speak English, so she can't talk to you, and she doesn't have a phone, so she can't take pictures, right? It's like, sure, you can fake it like that, right? But oh, it's just an AI texting me, so whatever. It's like, you can fake it like that, but at the end of the day, you can't really fake it long term, right? Eventually, people are gonna find out. It's like, whoa, okay, you have a girlfriend, but you never bring her. It's like, bro, you're coping hard. But it's always like, yeah, it's like, wouldn't life be so different, if I could be, if I could have been attractive enough to get a girlfriend, right? And actually, maintain a relationship and be able to have these, family gatherings or, holiday reunions and actually, have someone with me instead of, just showing up by herself and just kind of, like I said, just basically being an NPC, right? Like you just show up to a holiday gatherings as an NPC because, that's life as an undesirable, significantly below average male, right? You just show up to life as an NPC to basically to be used as a point of comparison, right? For other people, it's like, oh, you just don't want to end up like him, bro. It's like, right? Or you basically just as an example to get mogged, right? Like think about it, right? It's like I like it's not even really jealousy or anything, but it's like just stating facts, right? It's like, when like younger family members will bring their partners, right? They're basically mogging you, right? So it's like, hey, like, I'm like 10 years younger than you, yet I still have a partner, and then, you still cannot get anything, right? And it's and I mean, it's almost not that bad, right? In a sense, right? Because it's a sister who has a partner, right? So it's basically, it's almost a guarantee that a woman is able to get a partner if she really wants to, right? Granted, she doesn't have any outright, like like very obvious, um, very obvious deterrence, right? Stuff that, like basically like, being morbidly obese, right? Like, at that point, it's you cannot argue against that point, right? That, you're just basically ruining your own chances by being morbidly obese as a woman, right? It's like you just have to know, you don't even have to be fit. You just have to not to be overweight, right? And then some guy will deem you as, oh yeah, you're attractive enough, for your personality to matter, right? But for a guy, it's not so easy to get to the point where, oh, you're attractive enough for your personality to matter, right? That entry to barrier is so much higher. So yeah, so it's like, yeah, so I spent a Christmas dinner, getting mogged by like, people who are like 10 years younger than me who can get into relationships. Meanwhile, it's like, I can't, right? Because of I guess chromosome difference, right? it's a it's an XX versus the XY diff, right? It's over. It's over, bro. It's over when you're born with the wrong chromosome. It truly is, right? That's crazy, right? It's like just one chromosome is all it takes. So yeah, so I mean, I don't really predict New Year's to be any different, right? The only bad thing about New Year's is people stay up later for sure, which kind of does ruin my night walks, right? Because I like walking out at night. It's because it's like just me by myself, right? Like it's basically the world is the world is mine, right? No normies out to disturb me, just me and my Doomer walk, right? But New Year's Eve kind of ruins that. But I'll just go to sleep or whatever early, just because I don't stay up late. And it is what it is. So yeah, and then no New Year's kiss for me, right? That's never happened. Like I talked about it before, isn't it so crazy? All these like holiday traditions that are always with a couple, right? And like I've never experienced it. Even those brief relationship stints are never during some kind of holiday season, right? Not during the winter one, not during. I guess it's mostly an American thing, right? For like the 4th of July in the summer and like Labor Day, and not for I guess I don't even know. Do people do anything during Easter couple wise? I don't even know. And then finally, what is it? Valentine's Day, right? Valentine's Day. Yeah, I will make the video on that eventually, right? When the time comes, right? Imagine never being anyone's Valentine uh and yeah, just imagine girls being disgusted when if you were to give them a Valentine's Day card, right? Anything, right? It's like I you just it's just so crazy, right? Just think about it. What are the odds of making it through so much of life? And there's not even like one girl who like, oh yeah, oh man, bro, I totally missed her signs. Thinking back, bro, like, I'll read those Reddit posts, where guys are like, oh yeah, thinking back, this girl was totally hitting on me, right? It's like that kind of experience has never happened, right? Because there has been no like very close interaction with the girl at any point in my life, right? So it is what it is. But think about what are the odds of all that happening, right? What are the odds, right? I mean, I'm sure as time goes on and looks inflation rises, the odds of that rise. But this all happened to me before, let's see, I mean, yeah, I like, let me think. I graduated high school, I don't even remember when, but before 20, like, I don't even know. Like, I mean, I got into college around 2013-ish, I think, because I remember 2012 was a thing in high school senior year. So, yeah, so it's like around there. So, like, think about it, like early 2010s, like, that era. I guess looks inflation, wasn't as big as it is now, and it was and all this, I still was unwanted back then, right? Even early 2000s, right? Throughout the 2000s, prior to 2010, right? Looks inflation and being in middle school, the social media and all that stuff. This wasn't a problem in theory, right? But like I guess nowadays it could be a problem for for middle schoolers because even little kids get access to the internet and social media, and looks inflation will play a role. But that wasn't a problem in theory for me. But look how I ended up, right? Because I still was never good enough. Like so, what are the odds, right? Like I was undesirable before looks inflation really took a toll. So yeah, that it is what it is, right? It is what it is. I don't even know what I wanted to talk specifically about in this video, right? It just went from reflecting on the holidays and thinking about how being undesirable for your whole life is your identity. The same way, getting into a relationship can mold your identity. Being undesired your whole life can mold your identity. and just living the holidays undesired too, right? That's all life is, right? It's basically what is it what is that one like saying or that movie or whatever, like the Groundhog Day, right? Every day's on repeat, right? It's just another day of being undesired by women, right? Every day's a check mark, right, on the to-do list of just living your life. Just another day of being undesired by women, right? Just another Monday, just another Tuesday, another Wednesday. Just make it through the weekend, and then you can through the weekday, the work week, and you can maybe sleep in on the weekend, and then but at the end of the day, just another day. Count down the days, right? Until one day we'll get a girlfriend, bro. It's like one guy wanted me to say, "Oh, there's hope," right? So I don't even know. Just keep on hoping, bro. One day, just keep your head up, and one day you'll get a girlfriend, right? One day we'll all make it, bro. Just keep your head up, and just stay on the Sigma grind set, bro. Just keep on coping, bro. Just keep on hoping. So that's kind of it for now. It's kind of it for now. Later.